Hey, Eric.
Hey, I am so sorry. I've been running around all week ever since no, that's not the one.
No,
Where
that's
are you?
not a problem at all. We were just having good
There we
conversations.
go. Yeah, no. So my birthday's in a couple of days. So I'm like really rushing trying to get everything ready for that on top of all the work I've been doing. And it's ain't no rest for the gig worker.
No, of course. I like your hair change. It's longer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's been this way ever since COVID. I couldn't really, ever since find the time or money to get back into the whole neon hair kind of thing.
Of course, yeah. And what are you doing for your birthday?
My girlfriend and I are going to be going to see Indiana Jones, actually, at a pretty famous
Ooh,
theater down in LA and getting some classic Italian food.
That sounds
Because
perfect.
that's
That
my favorite kind
sounds
of food.
that sounds amazing. By the way, this is Biorvio.
Hello.
We do another podcast together,
hello there.
and he's my co-host now and again as well. He loves your work like I do, and
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
you like Indiana Jones as well, Biorvio, do you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I haven't seen the newest one yet, but it's on my.
Yeah.
It's like next time I go to the theater, which will probably be in like maybe a week and a half, something like that. I'm hoping. That's probably what I'm going
Yeah.
to end up seeing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah. No,
really,
that
really
one
cool.
I'm excited
Also, I
for.
love your. Is that a master sword that you have behind you?
Yeah, that's from the Breath of the Wild Collector's Edition for the Switch. That was really
I
hard to
thought
get.
so. It.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're so stinking lucky. I got a actual one over here next to me with the shield as well.
Nice. Yeah, no, I pre-ordered that and I always whenever there's a collector's edition like that, I put a now in stock alert always and do my best. I managed to get snag a Tears of the Kingdom one from Target on release day, so
I was in line at Walmart at 5 in the morning when they opened at 6, and I got the first copy there. I was like, I'm not missing
nice.
that 100%.
Nope. Nope.
And then I took the day off of work. I played it for like 14 hours straight. Did not even care.
Yeah.
How many hours
And
are
this
you? How many hours are you both at the moment?
uh, I'm not that many actually, because I've been kind of distracted with other things. I play a lot of Destiny as well. So usually I can
Fair.
that one's a social thing with me and my friends. So we've been doing a lot of that. But I'm about 10 hours in, I'd say.
Cool,
All right.
cool.
Yeah.
I think Biorvio's 11. Yeah, Biorvio.
11 plus about 121, I believe.
No, that's the way to go. I've heard
Still
it's
not done.
yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
it's a great game. You
Oh,
can
no,
get
I'm
it.
a completionist, so I'm that's why I'm like afraid to dive in deeper. I'm just like doing a little piecemeal here and there until I can really sink my teeth into it.
Oh, you sound like me with
I really hope you're
Elden
not
Ring.
going after all the Korok seeds.
No, no, that was the one thing that broke me as a completionist in Breath of the Wild. I'm like, nope. Completionism for me is just getting all the slots from Heckaboo or whatever his name was, or the
Yeah,
dancing one.
yeah, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't
my
want to go through all that work just to get golden poop.
no, no.
Well, no, thank you
Exactly.
very much, Scott, Eric. How do you say your last name, by the way?
Kimerer, just how it's spelled, actually.
Kimura. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we're both really big fans. And for those who might not know who you are, who probably don't watch anime, would you just mind explaining who you are and some of the roles that or some of the characters that you might have voiced?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you could call me as an anime voice actor, but I just like to say voice actor because predominantly I've worked in anime so far, and I've done a lot of shows that have appeared on Toonami, Netflix, Crunchyroll, such as Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, One Punch Man. Um, oh, good lord, it's just like trying to pick which ones to because I don't want to run down the whole list. Demon Slayer. Um, I was a little bit in Sword Art Online. uh, but yeah, just I've been very fortunate to be a part of a lot of very popular shows, and a lot of them still going on. I hear Seven Deadly Sins is getting some more with it, and I
Ah,
never expected that to be my longest running character, because every time I step into the booth, I'm like, is this my last time with Gother? Is this my last time? Do I need to be emotionally prepared for this? Come on, don't play with my heart like this.
Oh, Gother's cool, and Seven Deadly Sins is great. Never stop with this. Gother's a great character. And how are you with improv, by the way? I was thinking we start with a couple of improv scenes. Are you okay with that?
Sure. I'm not the best at improv, I will admit.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm very ADHD, so my mind like connects like A to Z and doesn't like really explain itself in between.
Right. Well, let's just have some fun with it then. I was thinking, because are you a wrestler as well?
I am. I've trained in pro wrestling with a WWE superstar.
Wow.
Actually.
And who was the superstar?
The Brian Kendrick, former tag team champion, and cruiserweight champion during the 205 Live days.
Wow, that's incredible!
Yeah.
My goodness. And are you still wrestling?
I still do. I train every Thursday, actually.
Nice. What's your height and weight, if you don't mind me asking?
What was it?
Your height and weight.
My height and weight. My height is 5'10". I'm 205 pounds, so I'm just barely in the cruiserweight category. Still trying to cut a little bit on that because I still haven't cut a lot of the COVID weight.
Oh yeah,
I can move around. I can do moonsaults. I can do my flips.
Yeah, you're not alone with that. Well, that's not 500-pound Big Show, but that's good. That's
no. Another Destiny 2 player, actually, apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, I remember seeing him at E3 one time, just walking around.
Does he stream?
Wow. I don't think so, but I know he loves Destiny 2.
Oh, that's really cool. I've been watching Bad Friends podcast a little bit, and Bobby Lee plays a lot of Destiny. I've heard the comedian there. He loves it. I've heard great things. I haven't got into it. I'm still trying to crack Elden Ring.
Same.
Sometime.
Wow,
I'm horrible at Souls games.
I'm just too. Yeah, it's up all night, and the only thing it saves me is we're on solar power here, so I can't use too much power, so it cuts me off. So that makes me my addiction
limited.
Limited addiction. Well, I was thinking because you're a wrestler, could you potentially Biorvio is going to be All Might, you be Gother from Seven Deadly Sins, and maybe trash talk each other a little bit, pretend like you're in the ring, All Might just comes in, and All Might starts it off. When you're ready, Biorvio.
You think you can come into my ring? I am the #1 hero. What are you, some kind of loser?
Oh, please, is any of this actually necessary? You need to learn to pick up a book and not a barbell sometime.
No, I pick up plenty of books when I'm signing them for all of the young children. What kind of books did you sign for people? What do you even do? With everything you have.
I don't sign books. I obtain knowledge, and that's what's going to help me in this ring, because I know all your brains went straight to your muscles.
Ooh, that was a little bit personal there. But I got news for you. All I need is about 5 seconds and I'll smash you into the ground. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I have a hard time understanding humans. All I understand is I now have the heart to take you on.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's really good. Well done, Erik. You're very good at improv. And to be honest, I think Gother would take out All Might. I love All Might.
Gother could exploit his mental weaknesses. I think that's where he's going to win the fight.
I completely agree. Yeah,
but I don't know. That's the thing. It's like I don't know how many mental weaknesses All Might has. He has a lot of confidence in himself. So he has a tragic history, and he can. That would be very evil of Gother to go there to like really go deep into the history of All Might. But we know he's capable of that with Dion and King and all his.
That's so true. And you know what? Actually, we've seen All Might be manipulated so tragically by like All for One. Actually, not very easily manipulated. Not easily, but a few things have come out, and he's affected negatively by it. So you're right, Gother wouldn't take much to take him down. Well, the next one I've got is Speed of Sonic Speed of Sound
Speed of
Sonic.
Sonic.
Telling which we love, he's a great character, and I was just talking about him being punched in the balls, and that was a great moment as well.
I like to refer to him as Nut Punch Man for that.
Nut Punch Man. That's perfect. And we got My Hero Academia as well here. Shigaraki. So Speed of Sound Sonic telling Shigaraki. It's like a similar thing. Telling Shigaraki. Let me change it up. All right, Speed of Sound Sonic teaching Shigaraki how to use a sword or ninja weapons. Okay, ninja weapons. And maybe you can start this time, Erik.
All right. You see, the hardest thing about wielding a sword is sometimes, as the fastest man alive, I'm quicker than the blade. So you gotta kind of temper yourself. You've gotta wield it and run with it. You cannot go against it.
What is the point of even using such a worthless weapon in the first place, when I have a power that can decay just about anything I touch? I will bring... You're no different than the hero killer to me. Just ideals, but nothing backing them up.
There's no elegance into your powers. The sword allows you to see them eye to eye, and it is the most pleasing thing when all they see is a blink of you before they perish.
I hadn't considered it that way before. Perhaps that is... You might actually be onto something. I wonder. Show me one more time. Now that you've piqued my interest and determined that you're actually worth my time.
Let's
see
good.
what you can do.
You know what? They actually sound very, very similar, like a similar personality style.
Yeah. Very calm and collected, very sure of themselves. And that's the thing with Sonic, is that he is, he would be a legitimate threat in any other anime. He would be a massive threat in any other anime.
Oh, heck yeah. I love him as a character, and going against the Sea King and a few other really, really incredible
all these characters would be all these characters would be incredible threats in any other anime, but that's the brilliance of him, is that he just has never been challenged and then suddenly gets a very embarrassing comeuppance. Sonic and Knuckles, they get to meet.
I love that. All right. Well, we got the Snake Hashira, which is a fan. We both are massive Demon Slayer. Biorvio's caught up with the manga, and I'm just caught up with the anime at the moment. But yeah, I've heard you have some really, really cool scenes coming up in regards to that.
I have read the manga myself, one of the few shows I had the luxury of doing that with, and I am super hyped about the arc that I will be able to play along with.
I know, it's so exciting.
So stinking excited.
Well, we got him talking to Zenitsu about what's that girl again? The pink-haired girl's name?
Kanroji. So
Mitsuri
funny story.
Kanroji.
Mitsuri Kanroji. So funny story about that. I was just at a convention about a week ago in Jacksonville with Alex Lee, who does the voice of Zenitsu. And we were on opposite sides of the autograph hall. So the green room was behind him, behind a curtain. I go behind there to get a Diet Coke, and I see that he has a Mitsuri cosplayer right at his table as he's signing. So I just had to be a little shit and just like poke my head in and scare him, just be like,
Zenitsu, stay away from Kanroji!
And just freaked him the he's just like, oh god, jeez, don't do that.
That's perfect. That's really cool. Oh, that's amazing. Hopefully got it on video. So this will be the last one, improv scene. Biorvio, maybe you could start it out. I'll just be sitting here looking really pretty as Mitsuri. Maybe I can tear my shirt open a little bit. We can see what happens. We go from there.
What makes you think you have the right to be with anyone that beautiful? Can't you just see? She's so beautiful. You don't deserve her. You think you're so beautiful with your different colored eyes and your creepy looking mask? It makes me so angry.
I may only have one good eye, but I can see what's best for her. And in the meantime, Kaburamaru here is keeping an eye out on everything himself, seeing where your eyes are wandering. I warn you, stay away from Mitsuri.
That's not fair. Why? What gives you the right to think that you can speak with such a...
What makes you think you have any right to talk to me like that? I am the Serpent Hashira. You are a lowly demon slayer. Know your place, Zenitsu.
At this point, he would pass out.
That is too good. That is too good. And I'll say, hey guys, there's enough for me to go around, okay? I've got enough love for everyone. So I think that's the
Got
best.
the muscle density for it.
I think that's the best one out there, to be honest. My improv there probably takes the cake, but you guys did okay. So well done.
Thank you.
No, it's
you.
amazing. I'm just
Amazing
sitting
job
here.
there, sir.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here smiling because it's I'm like, frick, it's so cool that I'm on this call. So Erik, you've come this far, you've done such incredible things. How did it all begin? How did voice acting start for you?
By accident almost, and you'll hear a lot of that in the stories amongst my colleagues, is sometimes you just kind of fall into it. And I was living in Seattle for a long time. There was a local convention, SakuraCon, that in the off season would be using their emails as a newsletter, or as a bulletin board, kind of, for anything happening in the Seattle area. And taking theater as my one elective class, just thinking I'm just going to get this out of the way, kind of fell in love with acting, decided to take it the second year. And that was the year I saw that there was a Japanese voice actor, Rune Sasaki, who moved to Seattle, and she was in the original Macross, Crusher Joe, a lot of 80s and early 90s anime, and had a very extensive list of credits. So she was looking to teach anime voice acting in Seattle, and that wasn't something I thought was accessible up there. We only had really theater. Started taking her classes, and she taught us in the Japanese way of dubbing anime, which is different than the way we do it here for anime. It's more akin to what we do here for American cartoons, where it's multiple people in the booth at a time. They get rehearsals and multiple mic setups. So I learned in that way, which was really useful and beneficial. And I still joke, I learned the traditional Japanese way of voice acting in anime. Then I moved down to California after I graduated college. I was competing in the yearly AX Idol competition that Bang Zoom would host at Anime Expo, flying down every year for that. And then the year I graduated was the year I won for their voice acting competition. And that fall, I moved down and started working steadily with them. And yeah, it was quite a number of years competing in that.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah.
What do you have to do in those competitions? Is it just you choose someone to voice and then you just voice it to the audience, or do they give you scenes, or what happens in the competition there?
So what they would do is they would have a first round, just a panel where it'd be 2 to 3 hours long. People would bring up 30-second monologues from an anime or video game, JRPG or something like that. And they'd have a set of judges that would kind of mark down their scores on things, and the top 5 people would be announced at the end of the panel. Those would go on to the finals, which would be on stage. I remember, so 2007 was the first year I competed. I did an Oran High School Host Club monologue from Tamaki. Did not get in the finals that year. The next year I did Light from Death Note, and I got into the finals that year, funnily enough, with Aaron Hansen, Ego Raptor from Game Grumps. He was also a finalist.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So that year I didn't win, and then I could not compete in 2009 because I was a finalist the previous year, so I had to take a break. And then 2010, I forget what I auditioned with, honestly, but they brought me on stage in the Nokia Plaza, or the LA Center Plaza near the convention center, and they would give us scenes that we would dub to picture. So I got Vampire Night, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I got a scene from Vampire Night, and yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's terribly nerve-wracking, but what an incredible experience, and a cool way to start. I haven't spoken to anyone who started competing in voice acting, and that's really, really cool. And you've obviously got some cool things on the horizon. Obviously, Gother has another 7-8 seasons or whatever, but
we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a time skip, but that's the thing, is that Gother doesn't age, so
no.
You can always insert him anywhere.
Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, and never have to change my voice for him. Just
true. That's true. What's the hardest voice to voice act?
I think it would have had to be probably Sekko from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And that was just mostly environmental, because that was one of the first shows that we did remotely during the pandemic, when everybody got their home setups all ready and we could start recording from there. And we got a little 4x4 whisper room, which is pretty contained, not the best ventilation. And Sekko was this very feral, just outlandish, basically a dog who wants sugar cubes. And I just remember sweating bullets in that booth, just having to tell my director every few takes or so, it's like, hold on, let me let the funk out of the booth. It's getting a little clammy in here.
Basically a free sauna, as long as you stay hydrated.
Yeah,
that's good for the heart.
It really felt like it.
Oh, that's really, really cool. And in the voice acting industry, I know, like you said, it's not the traditional Japanese way. You don't get together in groups into the studio and talk. But do you have any cool connections or good friendships with other voice actors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I live with Sarah Williams and Bill Rogers. I've lived with Sarah for almost a decade now, through multiple different apartments. And let's see here. I can't list them all, and I don't want to leave anybody out. But the fun thing is that Mitsuri Kira was one of my first friends in voiceover before either of us had moved down to California. We both were trying to sit next to Johnny Young Bosch at a guest reception dinner to talk to him way back in 2005, I think it was, at this Canadian convention. And we started talking to each other. It's like, oh yeah, I do online voice acting too. You do online voice acting? Cool. So yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and it was really cool to have a lot of our roles together. One of our first ones was Accel World, where she was Koriyuki Hime and I was Haruyuki. And then we played the Knell siblings in Blood Lad, where she kind of gives me the speed of sound Sonic treatment.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, that's so cool. It's so cool that you've got those connections and you're close with them. And obviously you see people at conventions as well. Now, someone like Biovio, he's such a talent, and his goal is to eventually get into the anime industry. What's your advice? And a lot of people who listen want the same. They're aspiring voice actors. They want to get into the industry. Do you have any advice for those types of people, and people like Biovio?
Yeah, and it may be pretty basic, something you may have heard before, or just it's just something I always want to reinforce, is that theater and improv are the best starts, because those are the technical skills that you're going to translate into the booth a lot. The presentation, projection, the timing, everything. Getting a sense of timing, especially in anime, is important because you're matching to lip flaps. So I'd say, practice on that when you can. Mute an anime and see, go with the English one, because the subtitles won't always match the lip flaps or fit in there. So hear what the English line is, and then rewind a little bit and try practice on that. there are a lot of really good websites and resources. Voiceoverresourceguide.net can give you a lot of the demo producers, the people who are doing workshops online, and just I'd say take as many different kinds of workshops because there's different technical approaches to things. Like there's a different way to approach a commercial copy as opposed to an anime copy, or so yeah, I'd say a lot of theater and improv is the best start. From there, hone it into the workshops. Usually I would say you have to live where the work is. It's opened up a little bit now with remote recording, but for anime and stuff like that, they still kind of want you in the studio there. For things like audiobooks, that's actually a little bit more open to remote recording or commercials or things like that. And finally, just work on creating different characters. It's not so much about the voice, but what's the character behind the voice. So I see a lot of people fall into the trap that a accent is a character. So they'll just put on an Irish accent and that's a character to them. But no, there's got to be more to it. So like, think about the pillars of character creation. What are their motivations, tactics, what's at stake for them, and create like just kind of an arsenal, like a little Swiss Army watch or something of characters you can pull from when you get an audition, and just kind of tweak here and there based on what the copy says.
That's really, really good advice, actually.
Well, perfect.
Really, yeah.
That's perfect because
I studied theater, so I could go on. I could go on for hours. So
go ahead, Biovio.
I was just gonna say, that's perfect because a lot of the way that I really even discovered this as a hobby is I am the dungeon master for a bunch of people in D&D, so I have to I do a bunch of improv, I do a bunch of voices, and so this whole like
that's a great way to go about it.
I think what you're saying, like, it is, and you really have to develop a lot of these characters, like you're saying, like what are their motivations, what are their tactics. So so I think you're absolutely spot on, man. That's the great job at that. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, I could go on for hours. I majored in theater and kind of the craft, the very liberal arts kind of theater.
That's awesome, and you might have seen me in my high school production. I was the lead, so that might be something that you might know me from personally, and I know in voice acting you might have just heard my Mitsuri voice, and you might think to yourself, I want this guy. But remember, I'm in New Zealand, and I only stay at 5-star hotels, so if you want me over there, it's gonna be some money.
Send me a rider. I'll pass it along.
No, that's really, really cool. And what do you have any, like, are you happy? I mean, you've done so much, and you've got these incredible characters. Are you happy? Do you have any massive aspirations in the voice acting industry, or do you want to just keep on doing what you're doing, or what?
I'm always happy to do anime. I love anime, grew up on it, always a fan. That being said, it hasn't always been treated right in the industry, and I have other passions like wrestling and video games and things like that I kind of I want all to be in one kind of umbrella, honestly. I started taking mocap classes where, motion capture. I'd love to do a little bit more physical. And that's what got me into wrestling, in fact, is I like I said, I started in theater. So after years of doing voiceover, I was like, yeah, I really enjoy this, but I kind of want to be in front of an audience again. I kind of want to do something physical. And my love for wrestling kind of pulled me in that direction and never looked back. So I kind of want to incorporate that into some motion capture. I'd love to be able to have both wrestling and voiceover be in tandem, where if I go to a convention that has a local promotion, I can get on the show there and bring a bunch of the attendees, the con attendees over to the show. Or hell, if a promotion wants to bring a wrestling ring like a con wants to just have a wrestling ring in there, let's go.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of crossover. I mean, I was talking to Josh
Oh, yeah.
Josh Martin, the voice of, for those of you who don't know, the voice of Boo, Majin Buu, and he's a massive wrestling fan, and I think he's done some stuff. Have you worked with him at all
Really?
or taken him out?
No, I assume he's in Texas if he was, yeah, Funimation. So unfortunately, there's kind of an iron wall between California and Texas.
Of course. And as you know, Biorvio's got quite a strong Texan accent, as you can hear. So you're a Texan through and through yourself. You obviously sound like an anime watcher, Eric.
Try to be. It's hard nowadays.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what's your top 3 anime? Would you have a top 3?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty basic. I don't know if I can curse on this.
Yeah, you can.
Basic bitch shit. So let me see. I do like Dragon Ball Z, Death Note, and probably Cowboy Bebop are my top 3.
Very good
Yeah.
top
All
3.
three are great.
Yeah, especially I mean Dragon Ball. Who's your favorite character in Dragon Ball Z?
Gohan was definitely the Cell arc is what I was introduced in on, and I mean I love Dragon Ball Abridged as well. I love the Team 4-Star guys. And
Yes.
it saddens me one of their jokes hits a little hard where it was Gohan after the Cell arc. He's just wistfully wondering, I wonder what happens next for me, and Piccolo just comes up to him and goes, "You peaked." I'm just like, damn it, yeah, that's true. He was so cool in that. But I don't really
I love that.
count the Majin Buu saga.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. I'm just watching the Majin Buu saga. I watch it when I'm in the gym, and people look at me really funny because I'm having my little tablet there while I work out because I get motivated by it. But yeah, I just watched when he got absorbed, and terrible.
Yeah.
Gohan. But the line, you can't beat the line. Fight you? No, I want to kill you. That's a great line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just watched Superheroes, and that definitely gave him a good shine. That gave Gohan a
Yes, it
nice
did.
little buff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The power scaling is out of freaking control in that.
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Super kind of did away with power scaling pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to Carla Bear about that a little bit a few
Another
months
one of my
ago.
first friends.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's such a nice
Yeah.
guy. My goodness,
Amazing,
he's
dude.
cool.
He is.
But he's all for Beast Gohan. I'm like, Beast Gohan versus this guy, and he's like, Beast Gohan versus this guy, Beast Gohan. He's all for him. I mean, I know it's
Well,
his
I mean, I
character.
played Xenoverse 2 as well, and they introduced the Beast Gohan mechanic in there, which is pretty fun. I'm just like, they didn't really explain it too much in Superheroes what it is, and I'm just trying to wonder if they're going to expound upon it in the upcoming series, or I don't know.
I just like
I'm a
seeing
big fan.
Piccolo as more of a dad as well. But Xenoverse 2 is amazing. I play Xenoverse 2 as well.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great fun. It's awesome. All right. Oh, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Games. Do you stream?
I do. I've been streaming a lot of Destiny lately. I want to get into some Tears of the Kingdom, but So I'm 10 hours in, but I'm still on the freaking tutorial island. I want to get off there before I stream it and start exploring a little bit more. There's just too much to
Smart
like
move,
explore.
man.
Yeah. But I also year over year I've been doing the Yakuza games. I completed Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 1, so Kiwami 2 should be coming up soon. I will be getting into that. And I picked up AEW Fight Forever. I'm still trying to get used to it. It feels like the old school Nintendo 64 games, but a little too much in some senses.
Yeah, true. I know what you mean when you say that. What's your handle? What's your Twitch handle and stuff like that, so we can follow you?
It's just my name, Erik Kimerer. My online handle typically goes by King Chimera. Just kind of a portmanteau of my own name, because Erik in the original Nordic language means the eternal king or the forever ruler, which is a really cool thing.
That's a cool name.
That's really cool. I kind of
That's
want to use that
stinking
somehow in wrestling. I want to use that in wrestling somehow. And then my last name, Kimmerer, I've heard mispronounced any number of times and ways. So one of my favorites was Erik Kimerer. I'm just like, yes, yeah, like the Greek myth. Yeah, hell yeah.
Chimera. Oh, that's amazing. Well, that's much better than my one, which means a little stream, which sounds like I'm just urine. Riley means a little stream,
Oh, no.
which is bad. But that's awesome. All right. Well, what's your finishing move in wrestling? Sorry, a couple more questions. What's your finishing move in wrestling?
Right now, I have to work on a strike finishing move. I've got a signature for that, which is kind of a modified code breaker, single knee facebuster that Chris Jericho does. I can also do the lion salt, and a side lion salt, which is jumping on, springboarding off the second rope and doing a backflip onto them. I think I'm going to adopt that or find some variation of that. But I do have a submission finisher, which is I call the Dragon Wing, and it's a cross between a chicken wing crossface and a dragon sleeper. So I kind of have two hooks on them and haven't been able to employ it yet because mostly what we do, my coach runs a comedy wrestling show called Wrestling Pro Wrestling, WPW. And you can find it on Twitch, Wrestling Pro Wrestling, and on YouTube. We've got all our shows up there. And it's not Erik Kimerer wrestling in those shows. Erik Kimerer lends his likeness to a character in there known as the Sassy Assassin, Sylvester Silverstein from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Oh,
and very much a Speed of Sound Sonic meets Darkwing Duck meets Sylvester the Cat meets Wildy Kite, like just all the Looney Tunes plus Speed of Sound Sonic, who is a Looney Tune in himself. So because he's got the purple scarf and everything, and
that's amazing. You need to I think the Sassy Assassin needs to be a hero in One Punch Man. To be honest, I think you can.
I would definitely like to see that Sassy Assassin versus Moomin Rider.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. What's your thoughts on Logan Paul, by the way?
God damn. Still don't got a lot of respect for the dude's public persona and business practices. The way he's gone about his YouTube empire and stuff like that. Really not a lot to praise there. And what that's why it pains me to say that he actually looks like he belongs in that freaking ring. Like, he does such a good job, and he's such a natural born heel. And all that, that I hate about him in his history, the whole Japanese forest thing and all that, all that I hate about them, that feeds into this art form that I love of wrestling. And you can't have his character be what it is without that. And it's just like, you're good. Stop making me acknowledge this.
I know what you mean. He is so good. He's built like anything as well. His athleticism is crazy good for his
doing buckshot lariats and in that freaking Ricochet spot at the Royal Rumble where they both did a springboard up the top rope, clear across. Those are 20-foot by 20-foot rings. They both jumped 10 feet across and collided in the air like that. That was insane. I
know. Because how tall is he? He's a big man too. Like, he's not like a Rey Mysterio.
No. I crossed paths with Rey Mysterio once. He is pretty tiny.
Oh, did you cross paths? He's one of my favorites, Ray.
Mine too. Oh my good lord.
I love it when he
living legend.
Oh, massively. And then I've seen his son come into the thing recently.
That story has been amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Story.
The dynamic between them is funny. But no, that's really cool. It's good to hear that you're a wrestling fan. Is that your goal in wrestling, to do like WWE or
That's the thing is, I mentioned earlier, my birthday's in a couple of days, and I'll just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm turning 35. So that's pretty late in a career for a professional wrestler in the WWE. And I don't know if AEW would accept that. I typically go for 20s. But asking if I would want to be in the WWE is like asking if I want to be in a Marvel movie or voice act. It's like, yeah, just where's the opportunity? I'll take it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
WWE does actually enlist local talent for their extras every time they're in town. So, that's a good start. And that would be a high bucket list item for me, and I'd be satisfied with that, to be a security guard that Braun Strowman tosses around or something. I've had friends, one of my assistant coach, Brandon Sasha Derevko was his wrestling name, but he got to be thrown around by Braun, I believe, for SmackDown
Ooh.
once.
That would be the dream.
Enhancement talents, they're called, by the less politically correct term, they're called jobbers colloquially, but
Yeah.
no, we call them local talents in the industry.
Yeah, that makes sense. You should stream some PS2. I've got a few of those PS2 old wrestling games.
I've got a collection. Here Comes the Pain is still probably tops like of all time in terms of wrestling games.
True. Yeah, I'm just checking SmackDown versus Raw.
SmackDown versus Raw. The original was really good.
Yeah, All Star, a few other cool things. So yeah, I'll watch that if you stream it. But no, thank you very much, Erik, for coming on the show, man. You're a cool guy, really cool guy. And
thank you for having me.
If
I
I
really
wasn't married, I'm just joking. If I wasn't married, I'd set Biorvio up with you. No,
But I'm married too.
Oh yeah, sorry. If we not to each other, we got separate wives. But I'm off topic. You're so talented. We love your work, and we're gonna keep watching your stream. And if you want to play Xenoverse and have and need a teammate, flick us a message, and my guy with orange hair will jump in to the ring and help you out.
My Frieza race will do the best.
No, thank you so much.
All I can say, I'll do the best.
Of course. You're the man, Erik. Thank you very much. Biorvio, do you have any other questions before we take it out?
No, just thanks for being on here. Thanks for talking to us. And honestly, like he said, you're so stinking cool, man. You're so stinking cool.
No, thank you guys very much for having me. I truly appreciate your kind words, and you're more welcome. This has been a lot of fun.
Not as cool as me, but yeah, no, it makes sense. Could you take us out by saying, maybe in probably Gotha's voice, hi, I'm Erik. I voice Gotha, and welcome to the anime. I thank you for listening to the Anime Dad podcast, and then I'll end the meeting there. But
certainly, all right.
Hello, this is Erik, the voice of Gotha, the goat sin of lust, and you're listening to the Anime Dad podcast. Sparkle!
Thanks, brother. See you later.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.